Hello there, I'm Dan, uh, a fat, depressed Englishman struggling in Bangkok. Let me give you some advice if like me, you're struggling and people are gonna come through to the town or city you live in and you're not sure you feel up to meeting them. So the last 3 times that happened with me, it went 3 different ways really. The first time was a cousin, Rob, from the north of England, Blackpool area. And Rob was here with his family, Janine, his wife Janine, and his 2 kids. I forget their names. I'm not very good at keeping up with people. So what happened is Rob was here, and unfortunately there was a very small window where his family and I, his family and my family, my wife and my son, could meet. There was basically one afternoon or one morning, late morning, early afternoon, and I didn't feel well. I had what I've had for a while, which I think is long COVID. Headache, feeling weak, not having slept very well. I mean, you can see from these eyes, I'm not a man who sleeps very well. And so I told Rob, sorry I can't meet, I've got to take my wife's mother to hospital, she's had a stroke. A white lie. She had had a stroke. She's still not in a great way, I don't think. I haven't seen her since the stroke. We're not real close. My wife's family don't feel very comfortable around me, and neither do I around them. It's because of my ignorance in not having learnt the language properly, primarily. So I told a white lie to Rob because I think I knew if I met him, things would go south. Because I really didn't feel very well. Okay? Now, the time after that was the son of a cousin. A cousin I've been going back and forth with over the years more than some other relatives I've managed to keep in touch quite well. I think it's because we have a musical link in our families. One of her sons plays blues guitar very well. My son is a budding drummer, competing today in fact, in a competition. And so, what I said, sorry, not what I said, I'm going back to the first story there. What I did was I met Theo, the young man who came through to Bangkok, and this was interesting. He was the spit of his mother, looked just like her, and nice kid. It was nice to hear about what he's been getting up to, although it didn't really go that way because for some reason I can be very withdrawn, I can be very verbose after a beer or two. And we went to a place called Jack's Bar on the river here in Bangkok, and I think I was getting some funny looks for being a little bit too loud, like people wanted to cave my face in, although that might have been from people I've encountered on Twitter and rubbed up the wrong way with my woke opinions. Quite woke. But anyway, met him, had quite a nice evening, and now he's continuing to do his thing around Southeast Asia. And I will say, I think that was an easier meeting because I have trouble keeping in touch with people from back home because I'm unemployed. I have been for the majority of my 17 years in Bangkok because of mental and physical health problems, primarily the former. With young people, I feel like they've not had so much time to achieve so much in life, so inevitably we compare ourselves with other people. I'm not having to put my non-career up against their career, my frankly not very successful marriage against their usually better relationship, and so on and so forth. With a younger person, stakes are lower. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it was quite good fun. He was a nice kid. Hopefully we'll meet again one day. Third time, I'm saying this now on a Thursday. This was 4 days ago. Yeah, on a Sunday. friend for whom I was best man at his wedding, and he returned a favour of mine. He and his wife were in town. Uni buddy, good buddy. Had been a good buddy. I've probably effed that up. So, we had quite a nice day, going to a place called Kokret, a little island in the Chao Phraya River, which flows from our country through Bangkok out into the sea, out to the Gulf of Thailand. There is a place called Kokret where they have boat tours around the canals or the river, and you can see pottery. There's a craft beer place. It's quite hip. Went there, had a nice day. Met the day after, and stone me. Hadn't slept well. Probably hadn't had more than 4 hours of sleep on and off. Constantly waking up. And I felt like I should probably put this off, but I didn't, because I don't like saying no to people. Here's a tip: sometimes say no to people. They might think you're rude, but it's better than something happening like the thing that I'm going to talk about here that happened. Now, I kind of woke up about 11:45 and I got a message, do you want to meet us? I said, yeah, let me pound down some coffee. Normally have 3 or 4 cups of instant a day, and I really cannot function without these, and I really cannot function without these if I haven't slept well, and I've got a headache and stuff, and the dry mouth thing that I've got now, and the weak feeling that I've got now. As I said, it's either long COVID, pre-diabetes, a mixture of both, a brain tumour, or I don't know what. And I'd see a doctor, but it costs money and I'm unemployed, and I'd rather save that money for my son, and you've got to go sometime, right? But if I'm still like it in 2 weeks, maybe I'll see a doctor, eh? So I chugged down 2 coffees, got a motorcycle taxi to the station, which I don't like doing. It always feels a bit dangerous. But I had to meet my friend and his wife in time. Had to make the meeting. So I got on the motorcycle taxi, went to the MRT station, the underground, took the 8-9 stops, whatever, up to Chatuchak Market, Kampeng Pet, the MRT nearby. My friend sent a map. I don't like really using maps. In my experience, I have found the best way to find somebody at a place like Chatuchak Market is just to walk until you get your bearings. You find, he had said the number, I'm in block 17. I thought I'll walk till I find a block and then work it out from there, count from there, rather than with a headache trying to read this little map on my phone. It's not going to happen. And I duly, after about 5 minutes, found my way to block 16 and figured, oh, hey, I'll cut through here to block 17. And as I'm cutting through block 16 to 17, I think I sent my friend a message. Can't read the map, but I'll be with you soon. And when I got there, his wife said, Phil has just been saying what a muppet you are, i.e. dumb. A fairly innocuous comment to somebody who doesn't have appallingly low self-esteem and a headache and a morbid negative disposition. Sadly, I have all of the above, or have, even as I speak now, because the headache's back and taking no prisoners. I just blew up, lost my ranted and raved. I'm self-deprecating, but how dare you say this about me? I told you before you came I don't feel well. Blah blah blah. Really Looney Tunes. Now, this here is sertraline 50 milligrams. This is for my depression. I've taken things like it on and off for years. Recently I'd had a feeling that, well, I think I'd read taking this stuff can make you fat. And that's not what's making me fat. Sitting at home all day and eating too much is what's making me fat. And occasionally hitting the treadmill every 2 or 3 days. If I'm doing well, once a week if I'm not. But that's not what's making me fat. These pills, it's the excess of calories, right? But anyway, aside from that, aside from reading they might make you fat, I'm always worried about the long-term effects on the liver or whatever. I've taken these things. And maybe a stupid, so maybe my friend was right, a stupid part of me feels that one shouldn't have to depend on tablets. Okay? Anyway, I'm supposed to take 50 milligrams a day, tapered down to once every 3 days, 1 pill every 3 days, then tapered down to 1 pill every 5 days. Probably a bad idea, because last Sunday I had what I can only really describe as a psychotic episode in public, meeting my friend. His wife, quite understandably, said, "Let's go," after about 40 seconds of me ranting and raving like an effing psychopath. In 17 years, this is probably the 4th time I've had a major semi-psychotic meltdown like this publicly. Suffice it to say, I'll be taking these sertraline pills, if not every day. If not every other day, then every day. Or if not every day, then every other day. Whatever. I'll be taking them more regularly, okay? And I think that I have learnt that it can be better to say no to people and risk offending them or seeming like a dullard than meeting them and going Yosemite Sam up in their faces. So, anyway, if you've watched this far, then I'm not a fan of his, but as George Galloway said to Saddam Hussein, I'm a fan of neither. If you've watched this far, I salute your indefatigability. You've got staying power. If you know me and you're coming through to Bangkok, be prepared that any nice side I might have had when you last saw me just might not be there, depending how I feel. And that sounds like making excuses, and maybe I should try harder. I just can't help it sometimes. And if we have met, and we do meet again, I hope we have a pleasant meeting. If you come to Bangkok and I say I can't meet you, it's probably better we don't meet, because I might be in this flipping crazy mind state, crossed with some frankly quite worrying health symptoms that mean that I won't be all that if we meet. Anyway, cheers, peace, out.